Hey buds. I have so much room in my heart for members of the fungi family. Always have. But in the past couple years, I've even found a little room for them in my stomach, at least for those local varieties. Now, if you're lucky and you have an expert mentor nearby, consider yourself very fortunate. But for the rest of us who are trying to learn, an abundance of caution is generally recommended. So I thought today we'd look at a few of the tools that have helped keep me alive, because all mushrooms are edible, but some of them only once. So for me, it started with the ugly sweater book here. This is an older book that was done, photographed in Prince Albert National Park, which is fairly close to us. So it's a really good place for me to start. But as you can see, a single photo is probably not enough to ID all your mushrooms and stake your life on. So you're gonna want to add multiple books to your collection. So check them out, there's lots out there. Mushrooms of Western Canada is another good reference guide. Again, not tons of photos, so you're gonna want multiple things to check on. And these newer books, like I have over here, which I just enjoyed the title of. I mean, Forage for Mushrooms Without Dying is a good, a good title in my opinion. They tend to have better photos and often sections like this, which have checklists for all the characteristics that you want to check to make sure they have before you go ahead and eat anything. And another book you might want to check out is called All the Rain Promises and More. It's one that I saw, it kept coming up. It has a quirky cover, which you think would normally draw me to it, but for some reason it reminded me of the movie The Shining, which isn't even something I've watched in its entirety, but I'm just not a horror movie person. So for whatever reason, I didn't pick it up for a long time, but I finally got a copy from our local library, and it is an excellent resource, and it has this really cool quick key on the inside covers, so that's a handy tool, and it's a good size too for carrying around. It's a pocket guide, which is nice. So the library is always a good place to start. Well, as fun as and interesting as these books are, if you're like me, you'll probably find that they don't exactly instill enough confidence that you feel you could just go ahead and eat a mushroom without a chance of that insta regret. So the next step, at least for me, was to join some online mushroom groups. So kudos to a very cool cousin of mine who invited me to the local Facebook mushroom groups for our province. And I've found that they are a great place for you to kind of see what's going on, what other people are picking, you know, learn along with everybody else and even bounce a few photos off them. But if you're going to do that, just make sure that they are good quality photos that actually help people make IDs. Things like the underside of the mushroom with the pores of the gills, what kind of environment the mushroom was growing in, whether they're in clusters, whether they're by themselves, those kind of things are really helpful. Do not just post a blurry picture with the caption, "Is this edible?" That will be a big red flag that you are a noob that is not really on the right page quite yet. So, pro tip. Hopefully with a bit of time in the online groups or the use of things like Google, you will find an in-person mushroom group that you can also join. So here I have found the Saskatchewan Mycological Working Group, and I did join up, but I haven't been lucky enough to go out on any of their in-person forays yet, but fingers crossed that I will. And I think it will be a very optimal tool to have that hands-on experience with local experts. I did have one whirlwind experience with a lady who was taught as a young girl in the Ukraine about wild mushrooms, and that was very memorable, but I think I need a few more under my belt. So it didn't take me very long on the Facebook group to kind of pick up who one of the major experts was. He was an admin, he commented on a lot of things, and then it didn't take me much longer to realize that he was doing a lot of local talks at local libraries, and well, now our local library is going to be hosting Mr. Donovan Thiesson. He's doing a mushroom talk at the Medstead Library on June 4th, or well, in Medstead, I believe it's actually at the hall, June 4th at 1 p.m. So join us if you can. And if you're in Saskatchewan but you're not in our area, check. He might be coming to a local library near you. If you're in the province but not near any of his talks, I would definitely check out his very informative YouTube channel that I will link in the description below. So the major takeaway here is, though, that although it's nice to learn about all the mushrooms in the world, it's very practical if you're planning to eat any of them to learn which ones are edible and which ones are poisonous in your general vicinity. So hopefully this helps if you're in the Saskatchewan area, and if you're not, then I hope that you're able to find some local equivalents for yourself. But there are also just general experts that are definitely worth referencing. So even if you can't find someone local, I would definitely say to check out Alan Burgo, the forager chef, online. He has excellent write-ups on his website that help you with IDing, and he would be the one that I gave credit to for actually getting me over the hurdles to trying shaggy paracels and the fairy ring mushrooms, which we greatly enjoy. And of course, technology is always a help. So maybe people have better apps to suggest in the comments down below, but one that I found somewhat helpful is the free version of an app called Picture Mushroom. So if you're going to use this one, you're going to have to find that you'll dodge the subscription ads quite a bit. But if anyone is subscribed to it, I would love to know if you think it's worth it. Just in general, though, I wouldn't be comfortable saying that you should use it as your sole ID. I would use apps like this as more of a general research tool. And courses are always a fun way to learn, or at least they are in my opinion. So when I took the foraging course from Grow, Forage, Cook, Ferment, that included a handful of mushrooms, so that was a great starter for me. And I can't talk too much about it yet because I just signed up for the mushroom course with Herbal Academy, but I do love their resources. They have these nice laminated cards, which are great for studying in the bathtub or, you know, a wet forest. And also this little tearaway checklist to make sure that you are meeting all of the ID characteristics on your mushroom before gathering it and taking it home. So very important stuff, and you know, very lovely resources to use. So I'm going to wrap up today by saying that libraries are awesome, and I strongly encourage you to take out all of the mushrooming books that you can find and see which ones work for you, which ones are helpful, and which ones you want to add to your collection ultimately. And even better yet, if they are having a mushrooming presentation, definitely go support it and check it out. And if they're not, well, suggest that they host one. Until next time, have fun, guys.